Hello everybody, welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is turn 29 for my series replay of Strategic Command World War One, and I am playing the Central Powers while the computer is controlling the Entente Powers. Now, as you can see up here, we are midway through 1916, and the situation as it stands right now, the Russians are in extremis. We got them up against the ropes. Now it's time to go ahead and seal the deal. We have been holding off the Russians on the Caucasus, and the British, the UK, we've been holding them off on the Suez. We just go ahead and move the map here. We just eliminated the UK defenders on Cyprus, and unfortunately, we didn't have enough movement points left to take the remaining city. We'll go ahead and we'll do that next turn, and then hopefully we'll be able to move on to Crete. The rebels, the Libyan rebels, have been able to take Benghazi, so we have a port. Currently, we have a port into Cyrenaica, so that we can go ahead and we can come at Egypt from both sides. But we're going to need to get Crete first, just to help with making sure we're able to get transports through the central Mediterranean with little to no interdiction. So we're starting to make headway in Serbia. My plan to push down the coast did not move as quickly as I had hoped. However, we are starting to break through now. We are starting to basically encounter large areas where there are no defenders. The only thing that's holding me up has either been weather, lack of units myself, or a lack of supply. Hopefully that will change here in the next couple of turns. On the Alpine front, the Italian front, we have been holding our own. The Italians really have not been pushing too particularly hard, although I have a feeling that is about to change now that Italian forces have level 1 weapons. I'm assuming that they've also got higher command and control and higher infantry warfare technology, so that they will be able to do better damage in the fighting here. But the Central Powers, the German and Austrian units, they still have better defensive terrain, so it's going to be hard going for the Italians up here in the Alps. Finally, on the Western Front here, things have been heating up. I'm trying to move into position to take Verdun. However, the French forces, along with some British assistance, UK assistance, they have basically been fighting against me being able to get some surroundment, some encirclement on Verdun. Specifically here in this particular Ardennes hex in southern Belgium, there's been a lot of back and forth there. So, on the North Sea for the navies, there hasn't been much going on in the Mediterranean, mostly because I don't have a lot of naval forces down there. So I've been really cautious in where I deploy the combined Austro-Hungarian Ottoman naval forces in the North Sea. We're getting the upgraded and resupplied U-boat forces back out into the North Sea and then ultimately the Norwegian Sea, so that we can go ahead and continue to interdict supplies going to Russia, and now interdicting supplies going from Norway to the UK. All right, on the Eastern Front, real quick. So obviously the Austrians have broken through in western Galicia and are now in Ukraine, threatening both Kiev and Odessa. German forces in the north have taken Smolensk, have taken Riga. We've got the Russians down to 21 morale. We're going to push on St. Petersburg and Moscow in the hope that between those thrusts the Russians will commit whatever remains of their forces to defending these two major national morale objectives so that the Austrians, who are still pretty limited in numbers, honestly, are able to go ahead and push on Kiev and Odessa without too much more um, resistance. Okay, enough out of me. Let's go ahead and get the turn going. Let's go ahead and advance the turn here. See what we get. All right, do we want to create an Albanian legion? Yes, we do. Need all the help I can get. So Albania surrenders. We knew that was coming. Austria plunders 42 production points. Bolsheviks in Finland are gaining strength. Do I want to spend money to send General Mannerheim to help Finland secure Finland against the Bolsheviks? Yes, I do. And almost immediately, General von der Goltz and General Mannerheim defeat the Bolsheviks in Finland. Now, that's a historical event. That actually did happen. Austria-Hungary forms the Albanian League. Yep, we just did that. Entente forces along the Scottish to Finnish or Norwegian coast blockade, doing their thing. Oliver Hardy stars in A Day at School. This, I believe, this is the first Oliver Hardy comedy that hit it big. It's not his first movie, but the first one where it really went big. Germany develops gas and shell production level 2. This helps with how quickly the artillery units are resupplied. Austria develops production technology level 1. So that is cheaper units. Ottomans command and control up to 68%. Ottomans get infantry warfare level 2, helps with their fighting style. Ottoman Empire develops spying and intelligence level 1. Now that does two things. Spying and intelligence improves your ability to actually spot enemy units out there in the field that that are not within visual range, and it also gives you a bonus on your research and development. So here is your ledger for the upcoming turn for the CP. Now I know there's some people watching that are familiar with the game. They're not. You're not happy with my decision to work on the coastline, the Adriatic coast first. Instead, it would have been better to push for Nish, push down through Serbia. That way I can get the land supply route over to Turkey. But without Bulgaria in the war, it's kind of useless. The computer expects me to push on Nish, so that's part of the reason why I went down the coast. It also allows me a little bit easier access to the Mediterranean for the Austrian fleet in order to get them out there. Now, I should have gotten them out to the Turkish ports earlier. That was my mistake, and I wound up losing a dreadnought and a pre-dreadnought for my troubles. And so, as a result, the naval warfare in the Mediterranean, I have had to be a lot more cautious than I normally would have been. So I was hoping that the Russians would try and get the dreadnought out of Batum and run into my patrollers. And so there we go. That was a big victory, destroying the Black Sea Fleet dreadnought. That means that the only thing that the Black Sea has left is that one submarine. So here we're seeing the air war over the Alps and the Western Front in preparation for whatever offensive operations the Western forces are going to take. It's summer. I don't expect a lot out of them. They usually focus on winter, but they've had a lot of time to build up their forces, so we may see a summer offensive. We're seeing a lot of artillery fire. So once again, I've got issues with morale and readiness in this hex due to the amount of artillery that has been dropped on it. And so here come the attacks. And yep, he's out of there. So it looks like they may get the other one as well. No, they won't attack from Verdun and they won't attack from Nancy. They don't want to expose those two national morale locations. So I was able to hang on to that hex southeast of Verdun. All right, do we get anything else? All right, thank you for the sacrifice. And it doesn't look like we're going to be doing anything down in the Alps, which happy me, because that gives me a chance to get this garrison out of Trento and get a full corps into there. Better properly defend the city. I have a feeling that I'm going to lose it eventually anyway, unless I like massively reinforce the area. It's been my experience in the past that the computer has the Italian forces get support from both UK and French forces, and they focus on Trento. That's their first strategic focus in the Alpine campaign. At least that's been my experience. And then you'll see some minor attacks over here pushing towards Trieste. I mean, that's the whole reason why Italy got into the war in the first place, both historically and here in the game. The Italian government, they were under the impression that because there's a lot of Italian speaking people, citizens in those areas, that they should be part of Italy. All right. Socialist agitation lowers Russian determination to continue the war. That affects national morale. You love to see it. And Central Powers disrupting convoys. Entente in the Scottish to Norwegian blockade zone. There's at least one ship in there somewhere. Calculating supplies for our side. Yep, so there we go. All right, I am going to attempt this. Empire. Empire. Okay, no, I'm not. Anyways, the Russian Black Sea Fleet dreadnought was sunk, and unfortunately, we lost the 4th Reserve Corps. So here is the actual numbers from the convoy disruptions. So from Norway to UK, 11 lost. Egypt to UK, 18 lost. I mean, these aren't really big numbers, but then again, how much are they actually sending? Because if they're not sending a whole lot, then I may have completely knocked out everything that was going. So there's the benefits of the spying and intelligence. So there's a corps here near Algiers. The French have got to deploy a few units out here into North Africa for the same reason I have to have units at certain locations in Russia and Serbia in order to keep rebels from popping up. So Ottomans get their first artillery piece. Now, do I want to go ahead and deploy that down south so that I can eventually get it to the Suez, or do I want to attempt to anticipate that Bulgaria is going to come into the war soon, which will give the Ottomans an opportunity. Oh, excuse me. It'll give the Ottomans an opportunity to come across the Adriatic coast here and threaten Salonika. So, and then I could also try and go with offensive options in Cyrenaica. To be honest with you, I really don't care to do that. We've been holding the line here all this time. There's really nothing to be gained. Okay, I mean, yes, there is a national morale objective right here, and then the one here at Batum. It is potential. They are potential gains that I could get fighting wise, but I really don't think Russia's going to be in the war that much longer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let the Ottoman forces go ahead, and I will move up and I'll take this hex here. But I mean, beyond that, I'm really not going to do much more. in Cyrenaica. I'd really rather focus on the island hopping and then focusing on Egypt because I mean Russia's almost out of the war. They're down to 19. Okay, the UK, their morale's down to 25. I want to focus on them next, doing what damage I can to them both at sea and then on land with Egypt in order to see if I can't knock them out of the war second. That would wind up resulting in a major victory for the Central Powers, and then it won't matter if Italy and France are still in the war. So we'll go ahead and deploy them there. Rayon, 3rd Rayon Corps is available. Now, again, I can either, I got plenty of forces down here in Serbia. Okay, and I know I'm saying that right after I'm saying that I haven't been able to advance due to limited units, but things are starting to heat up on the Western Front. I want to try and stay ahead of them, so I'm going to deploy these guys here, and I got to get a headquarters in here. Did I buy one last turn or previous turn? Do I have one coming up for? Yes, I do. Okay, so September of 16, I got a headquarters coming, and I'll go ahead and I will deploy them here in the Alps in order to help out with the Austrians so that we can start thinking about offensive operations here in the immediate future. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be getting any reinforcements other than that artillery piece. So let's go ahead. We'll start on the Western Front here. We'll take my Ardennes battle zone back. So let me move him out of here and get a fresh corps in. Somebody that, okay, so all 3 of these guys have got good morale and readiness. So I'll move him up. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to have him entrench again. All right, now, the French 18th Corps is in for a world of hurt because I got 2 artillery pieces pointed right at them. So even though my Zeppelins are in some bad way, I'm going to go ahead and use them to try and clear out enemy interceptors. So hopefully that by the time the Zeppelins are done, my recon planes will be able to get in there without running into any opposition. All right. So we send out the recon bombers. Oh, that was the wrong hex. Ah, that was Verdun. Ah. All right. So we got 3 shots there, 4 shots there. Their entrenchment's only level 2. I mean, I know I can go ahead and I can cut this video, go back to the start of the turn, and start another video. All right, but where's the fun in that? I made a mistake. I'm going to live by it. All right, so, okay, so we got to attack the hex now. Um, if I had scouted out the correct hex, it may have given me a little bit better damage with the artillery. It may have given me a little bit better damage with my infantry corps. Uh-oh. All right, got to go for the 3rd one. Okay, so luckily he didn't take any damage, but it's going to take 3 movement points to get in there. What about him? He can't. Too far away. Now I could force march him in there. No, I can't. All right, so it looks like we're going to have to use him. I'm going to have to hope that the entrenchments still work. I'll go ahead and move these guys up. All right, so can I reinforce him? No. Can I reinforce him? Yes, I can. Alright, and then let's go ahead and move a few more troops up. Make sure I got at least a double line of defense along the front. Now I don't have that. I've got this artillery piece here. Let's go ahead and use him while I can. Excuse me. All right. All right, so it doesn't look like there's any much more I can do. All of my fighters have flown missions, so uh, I can't reinforce them. He moved, so I can't reinforce him. He fired, so I can't get him his elite reinforcements. He attacked. All right, so did I buy? Oh, let's go ahead and get him back. When you got this little asterisk here, the game's letting you know that if you go ahead and you reconstitute this unit, it won't cost as much as if you were purchasing a whole new unit. Basically, the idea is there were survivors from the unit, and you're reconstituting them with reinforcements into just basically standing the unit back up again. So I want to get him back. Oh yeah, and I was looking to see if I had ordered another artillery piece. No. Okay, so I got to remember to order another artillery piece for the Germans. Probably going to have to do that next turn. All right, so from the Western Front, now we go to the Alpine Front or the Italian Front, however you want to call it. Get them back up. Reinforce him. So I'm figuring there's not enough supply coming down here for him to be able to reinforce, and that's why I moved him back. All right, so it doesn't look like, yeah, there's nothing more we can do down here. I'll reinforce the Austrian fighters. They've been doing the lion's head share of the interception work down here as opposed to this unit. So I don't know, maybe I need to move this guy further this way. So let's go ahead and do that. See if it gives these guys a little bit of a break. All right, now let's look at the Kriegsmarine, the High Seas Fleet. Reinforce the aircraft there. Now I got to be careful. I don't want to spend too much money on the Navy right now because we're down to 240 and I need to make sure I got some left for the Eastern Front. So I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead. I normally save the Eastern Front for last because that's where all the important stuff is happening right now. But so that I don't accidentally not have enough for these guys, we'll go ahead and do the Eastern Front now. So I have a feeling somebody's here. Oh, good. It's a headquarters unit with artillery support. Not the easy target I thought it was going to be. Cut that supply line. All right, stay focused over here. 1 to 5. Oh, we got 4. Can I get anybody else in there? Yep. Oh, he will not leave. All right. Let's go ahead and get Smilton. Get linked up there. All right, get a Hedgehog defense going. Reinforce this guy. Do I need? I'm not going to need it until Luga. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll reinforce him real quick. Just so it's done. Move the headquarters up. Whoops. All right, these guys have got to come. These two here, they've got to come this way. So, can he make it? Yes, he can. All right. So this guy I'm going to use to garrison. That's the word I'm looking for. Garrison this hex over here. And then he garrisons Polotsky. Because here, let me show you the partisan map. So I got to have somebody in Minsk. That's that guy. I'm going to have to leave somebody in Smolensk until I get one of those garrisons over there. So, and then again, I need somebody in Vitebsk and Polotsk. So, and that's where this guy comes in. So he'll take over Polotsk. He'll take over here. And then this guy will eventually get to Smolensk. Assuming that Russia isn't out of the war by then. Alright, so let me reinforce him. Oh, I can only reinforce him 1 point. Okay, no point. There's no purpose. Get him closer to the HQ unit. Maybe he'll be able to resupply more. Keep moving guys closer and closer to St. Petersburg. So what would be better? Moving him here? Yeah. Alright, let's see if we can get Vitebsk here. So 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 1. All told, that's only 5. Let's give it a shot anyway. Okay, so he was able to take 3. And he got 3. Awesome. Alright, so I'll move him back. As much as I'd like to push them on Moscow. Now let him stay there. He has a better chance of being fully supplied by being back here. Cut off that intersection. Let him take the city. Alright, now how much damage can we do here? Potentially 3. Let's go ahead and take the chance. Let's keep the pressure on. Okay, so we got 3. Alright. So move back there. Move into the city. I'm not going to move him up, again for supply reasons. Alright, now can we get this artillery unit? If we can wipe out that artillery, oh yeah. That is a huge morale loss. Taking out headquarters and artillery units. Now, I didn't use the cavalry because this guy is low on supply. And I want him to be able to move. Try and get him closer to get both of them closer to their supply points. Now, what's the name of that town? Zhytomyr. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Alright, so we'll start with the 1 to 4. 1 to 4. Go with the cavalry to finish him off, so that way this guy has enough movement points to move up on Kiev. Holy smokes, they do not have anybody defending Kiev. Yay, team. Go, team, go! Although I do have a feeling that because his spotting, he should be able to see Belaya Zerkov, and he can't. So that leads me to believe there is a unit in there. So I am not going to run the cavalry straight up there. Yep, there we go. All right, good call. I can't believe they didn't have anybody defending Kiev. Holy smokes. Alright, how far? He can get to here. There is a unit in Odessa. There's going to be a unit in Odessa. I know. I said that about Kiev too. Okay. Um, there should be a unit in Odessa. I want to cut this guy off, and I want to cut off supplies going from Russia to Serbia. Um, so we'll move up Austrian 14th Corps, and that'll stop supplies going through Romania to Serbia. Now, he does not have enough supply to be able to have enough movement points to get across the river and cut him off from behind. But I will go ahead and at least do this much. Move the headquarters up to Uman. And now, do I want to go east or do I want to go south? That's, I mean, yeah, I can do both, kind of, sort of. Just I don't want to leave this giant gap here, but I want to get more troops down this way. And to me, one corps is, I'd rather have both corps than one. What was the old American saying? Both frigates or none at all. So, oh yeah, we got a bunch of defenders down here. All right. So we'll stand there. All right, next turn, we'll see what we can do to follow up. Taking Kiev, though, that was... I was not expecting to be able to do that this turn. That's great. That's wonderful. We'll see the effect that that has. So the last time I looked, we were at 19. Now we're down to 16. I'm sure that has to do with the loss of units more than anything else. The effect of the loss of Kiev has not hit yet. We'll see that at the beginning of the computer's next turn. All right, so there we are on the Eastern Front. So now we'll go back here to Kriegsmarine. And I'm prioritizing the U-boats. So this guy's done refitting and resupplying. So we'll get him out there. Now back here. He's ready to go. So is he. Do I have an empty port? Yep. Put him in there. Can he make it? Yes, he can. Get the battle cruiser in there. So the first Bismarck will be able to enter Mamel next turn. So he just got in there. I can reinforce him. Which destroyer is that? The Condor. For those of you who are familiar with this game, the Germans normally do not name their destroyers. They normally give them numbers. I personally do not like that. Destroyer is a major warship regardless of its size. It is a workhorse. As far as I'm concerned, those vessels deserve names. Sometime over the course of the game, I did go ahead and I named all the destroyers. All right. All right, so now we got the U-boat force. Okay, the guys that are already out here. Now I need to get them back to refit, but I had them up here because they were the only U-boats on the line at the moment. So U-38 still has 7 supply, and U-42 still has 6. And usually I'll start working them back towards Germany when they get down to 6 supply. Because once they hit 5, they start losing movement points, they start losing strike capability. So let me go ahead and get the fresh units out there first. Now you can double click on a naval unit and it'll do a thing called a naval cruise. You get a lot more movement out of that. I think it's like double movement, but it costs you a supply point to do that. And if you accidentally run into an enemy vessel along the way, that'll cut the movement short, and you'll wind up having a meeting engagement. There'll be a battle. And I do believe that if a unit, somebody check me on this one, if a unit, if a naval unit is in cruise mode and they encounter a naval unit that we didn't know was already there, I believe there is a debuff. There is a negative modifier to the cruising unit. Okay, so even though I do make it sound like I'm pressed for time, and I kind of am, I'm still going to just move them normally, so that way they do not expend any supplies on their way to getting on station. I know that's unrealistic, but we got to do some things in the game in order to get some play balance. Try and simulate the vessels having a lot longer range than they actually do. I mean, the Germans were able to get U-boats out here off the Irish coast pretty easily, and they were able to cruise for a little while, but they also had supply vessels that could come out and resupply them. They did in World War II. I do not remember if the submarines had vessels that they could resupply from during World War One. I mean, I guess they would. They weren't milch cows. They weren't submarines whose purpose was to resupply. I don't think. Might have been there. There might have been some. I think they had to hit actual surface supply vessels. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Been a long time since I've studied World War One. All right, so we got 5 submarines ready to go on station. I'm going to leave these 2 guys on station for now, and then they'll bring them back next turn. The High Seas Fleet is almost ready to go back out. One thing that I am concerned about, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 destroyers. And in order to have my usual naval formation, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're down 2 destroyers. So I need production points in order to be able to go ahead and buy those. Let me check research for the Germans first. So I really ought to put it in ground attack weapons. I have been neglecting ground attack weapons for a long time, so we're going to do that. I can rearrange my naval formation in order to take into account the fact that I only have the 4 destroyers to put out front. I can always call 2 submarines back in order to make up for the loss of the destroyers. I can always rearrange the organization of the fleet. So, but I need to get grounded. I should have had this paid for a long time ago. So I got 70 left. So that's going to be there's going to be a 50 somewhere. All right, so it looks like we're about to roll on logistics. What else? Long-range aircraft and fighter development. Can do those. Airship development. So naval weaponry is coming along. I don't have enough to put more in that, or I would. All right, so it looks to me like the thing that I'm going to need the most quicker, that we should develop quicker for what little money I got left, is going to be fighter development, because my fighters are taking a lot of hits. Doesn't help that they're don't have an HQ for these 2. So, all right, so that's what we're going to do. I got 31 left. I'm going to have to bank it. All right, so back to the Austrians. So now down here on the Serbian front, now I've got a whole Now, what I would like to do at this point, even though Greece is in the war, what I would like to do is I'd like to have the Albanian Legion hold Tirana, and the forces that I do have available push across um, the Balkans, take Uskub. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly. Go ahead and take Uskub, and then cut off supplies coming up from Greece. So, but my Marines have got to get, because they're going up against, even though this guy's undersupplied, they're going up against infantry corps that have got improved weaponry. So I really got to think about that. Um, my artillery here needs to resupply. So, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll advance the infantry corps, and then I can bring them back to garrison Tirana. Swap these guys out, so maybe, yes, I can upgrade him. I wasn't sure if there was enough supplies coming down here for me to be able to do that. So, upgrade the other Marine. Nothing I can do about them at the moment. What's he got for rounds? 3. How's he doing on supply? 7. Alright, upgrade him. Okay, so I'll give my artillery pieces this turn to go ahead and get more supplies, get more rounds. I want to relocate the bomber, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to have the bomber in a position where it can hit any targets I want along this part of the front. So right now he can go as far south as Pristina. I'd like to get him just a little bit, if I can get him to get down to this hex. So maybe, I mean, I can put him in either of these hexes, but then he's not on a road that affects supply. Don't want to do that. If I move him to Sarajevo, I'm not sure if that's going to help any. So let me see. All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so if I go ahead and I land him here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he wouldn't be able to hit either of these hexes. From Sarajevo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he, yeah, it doesn't help me moving him to Sarajevo. And I know I'm pronouncing Sarajevo correctly because I've watched Force 10 from Navarone more times than I can care to count. Unless they were pronouncing it wrong in the movie. All right, reinforce him. All right, so it looks like that's about all we can do down here on the Serbian front, the Balkans front. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at my guerrillas. Oh, I can upgrade him? Awesome. Didn't think there would be enough supplies coming through Benghazi for me to be able to do that, but there we go. All right, nothing I can do over here. What's his supplies? Oh my God, he's at 2. Luckily, we can go to Benghazi and he can resupply there, but I won't be able to get him his elite reinforcements. All right, so he's been fully resupplied, even though he's only down 1 point. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna take that chance, get him out there. Yeah, I'm gonna leave him here at Cape Matapan. Maybe he'll draw in uh, some folks. All right, reinforce the battle cruiser while he's sitting there. There's nothing the pre-dreadnoughts can do about the submarine, so they might as well just leave. And now that the Black Sea Fleet is no longer a real threat, I can go ahead and I can get the heavy elements of the Central Powers Mediterranean Fleet out here to help with operations around Crete. All right, let me have a look here real quick. So bring the destroyer out. And see if we can do some damage to roads. Nope. So now, eventually, I'm going to relocate him over here to Smyrna, and then what he can do is he can harass Athens, Crete, and Rhodes. Reinforce him. Now, what I'm hoping to do is these two infantry corps, once they're able, once the I feel the way is clear, I'd like to take these two guys and get them over here to Benghazi to help secure the bridgehead. All right, anything we can do here? Not exactly. I mean, I know I should have more defenses along here. I should have a unit here in Aqaba, just in case they try and do an end around on me from Suez. Uh, I've only once in all of my years of playing this game, only once have has the computer had the Entente land on the Sinai Peninsula. So I'm taking a risk there based on experience. All right, so who wants to move up? He can't. Okay, he can entrench. He's got enough movement points left to entrench. Get him back on the road. All right, so I wanted to bring him back in order to see if I can upgrade him. And then swap them out. So I got better defenses up here. Well, I should say a bigger unit, more people, more guns. All right, and that's going to do it for the Caucasus. I think that pretty much takes care of all operational movement. So look again real quick. Already did the Eastern Front. Okay, looks like that's going to be it for operational movement. All right, so for the Ottomans, is there anything I want to buy? They don't have anything building. I just got the artillery piece. They really could use fighters and bombers, spotters, that sort of thing. But let me go ahead and get another submarine out there because I need to make sure that the waters around Crete are clear when I attempt to take the island. I don't have the Navy, the surface fleet that I wanted, thanks to earlier mistakes, so I'm going to have to lean on the undersea warriors to go ahead and cover for the pending amphibious assault on Crete. Now for the Austrians, so we got another bomber squadron coming, got another submarine, another destroyer. The destroyer's not going to be until next year though. And then we got that leader coming. So let me look at research for them real quick before I spend all their money on new units. Okay, production technology, we got to keep that going. Ground attack, nope, maxed out. Nuts. I should have looked at that first. Another mistake. Okay, so they only got 35 left. There's nothing more here I can do because the lowest that you can spend is 40. So we go back to purchasing. Let's go ahead and get a mountain corps for the Alps. And that is going to bring them down to just 3 left over. So we bank that. Let's have a look at diplomacy real quick here. So Bulgaria is up to 87. All I got to do is kick them over 90%. That's all I got to do. So I take one more Serbian national morale objective, and that should do it. Bulgaria will enter the war. Romania is down to 45. So I don't really have to worry about them at the moment. Portugal may be at 67, but what Portugal ends up doing when they enter the war, they will give the Entente ports there on the Iberian Peninsula that they can stop at, resupply at, function out of. Then they also get like 2 or 3 ships that'll add to the fleet out in the Atlantic. But beyond that, and those are excellent pluses for the Entente forces. But beyond that, Portugal does not add any more to the war effort. Okay, other than their production points. I mean, yeah, that is a valuable asset. But as far as the Central Powers are concerned, the real battle is on land, and the Portuguese don't bring a lot to the on land fight. What they add to is the naval battle, and right now, with hopefully I don't jinx myself, but I'd like to think that I'm winning the naval battle. All right, so that is going to do it for this turn. Now, if you've made it this far, if you've been following the series, please do me the favor of going ahead and subscribing to the channel. Go ahead and hit the notification bell. That way, whenever I post a video, you'll be alerted. We're expecting Snowgeddon. The snowstorm to end all snowstorms has been what they've been telling us this week. So I'm going to do probably going to be able to do a couple extra videos. And if that's the case, then tomorrow is going to be Wednesday for me. I'll release a video then. If possible, I'll release a second video. And then, we'll see where we'll go from there. We'll see what the weather's like. If I wind up being stuck at home, I'm not able to get into work, then I can go ahead and I can do more videos and get them posted. But you won't know that unless you look. If you've hit the notification bell, then you'll know that I've put more videos up. And then also, if you haven't already done it, please leave me a like if you enjoy this content, if you want to see more of this. Please go ahead and leave a like. Leave a comment. You got any questions, leave them down there. I'll get to them as soon as I can. For those of you that have been helping me out with your comments, helping me with the history that I don't have, thank you very much. I appreciate that. 2 of you been kind enough to let me know about nuts. Now I can't remember his name. Arik. The guy, he's the author of All's Quiet on the Western Front, and yes, I deserve to get flame sprayed because I've read that book. I've read it several times, and I couldn't remember the author's name. Okay, so yeah, bad on me. Okay, bad Malbeefance. So thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys leaving your comments down in there and help me out, especially with some of the pronunciations, because I mean I know some cultures. You go ahead and you mispronounce names of locations and people's proper names, and they take that as an insult. It's a cultural thing, so I do not like pronouncing them wrong. So any help I get there, I appreciate that. So all right, so that is going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for viewing along, and I will see you on the next one.